Hi everyone. It's been a minute since I did a video, and to be honest with you, what I'm making today probably doesn't require a video because it is so simple. We're making ice cream. It's really hot out, and I found this great recipe online. I have to give props to Nigella Lawson because this is where I originally saw it from. Made a couple tweaks to it, as I do, but you don't even need an ice cream maker for this, which is why I love it. I do have my KitchenAid mixer, which you kind of need to have this. You could probably do it with a hand mixer, but it's just so much easier. So what are we starting with here? The main ingredients are whipping cream. So I've got 500 mils of whipping cream and a can of sweetened condensed milk. That's pretty much it. And then you can add whatever flavor you want. Now, I also pre-chilled my bowl. Because I want everything to be nice and cold. That way things will come together a little bit better. So here we go. We start by putting our cream into the bowl. I'm putting the whole thing in. And again, you know, there's going to be a little bit of noise here. That's just the way it works when we have this going. So I'm going to start with whipping the cream sort of on medium heat. I'm going to talk a little bit about, I pre-recorded some video that shows what my flavorings are. So I'm actually making 4 different flavorings. The other thing you need are some little containers with screw tops on them. I think I might not actually have enough. I've already made some, you know, magic of video and all of that I'm going to show you because I made it yesterday. I wanted to be able to show you what the finished product looks like. So I'm whipping up this cream. It's kind of on medium speed. I want it to kind of get a little bit of soft peaks, and then I'm going to put this whole can in. Once I've done that, then I want to make sure it's fully mixed because I found yesterday when I did it, the sweetened condensed milk sunk kind of to the bottom. And so when I divided my mixture into 2 separate containers, a lot of it was on the bottom. So half of it was a lot sweeter than the other half. Anyway, that's a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. So the cream is still whipping. Might need to turn this up just a little bit. But it whips up pretty quickly. Okay, so for the vanilla, I have a little bit of vanilla extract, just pure vanilla extract, but I kind of want to bump up or amp up the vanilla flavor in the ice cream. So I have bought vanilla beans. They come in a little tube like this. Usually there's 2 in a tube. In this case, it was 2 for $10, so they're not cheap. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just kind of split it down the middle like that, and then pry it open, and there's all kinds of little seeds in here, and the way you get them out is with the back. So I've got like the dull side of my knife. There's the little, you can see the little seeds, and you just scrape like this. Look at all of those beautiful vanilla seeds out of the pod. And the other thing is with this pod, leftover pod, still has a ton of vanilla flavor. So there are a few things you can do with it. You can either put it, I could put it in here. Actually, I have another jar, another bottle of this. I could put that in there. That'll help to amp up the flavor. Or I can put it in with some sugar, like in a bowl of sugar to create a vanilla sugar. Just keep mixing it around every couple of days. So those are all the different things that you can do with vanilla pods after. Or you can just throw it in if you're making a custard or something like that. You can just throw it in. Anyway, so I'm just kind of stirring this around. So now I have all these lovely vanilla beans or vanilla seeds. Okay, so for the chocolate, I am using cocoa powder. I put about 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder in here, and then I added about 2 tablespoons of boiling water, and then just mix it up. So now I've got a nice thick sort of chocolate, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a sauce because there's no sugar in this. So this is like chocolate flavor that's going to go into the ice cream, but you can't just put cocoa powder directly into the ice cream. It's just not going to like dissolve properly. So this gets it sort of dissolved ahead of time. So it's just kind of a thick chocolate basically that I'm going to put into the ice cream. So there's that. Okay, the other thing I'm putting in the ice cream is some strawberry puree. This is simply frozen strawberries that I let thaw. And then, like, there's not really that much here. There was like just a few slices of strawberry, let them thaw with all their juices and everything. Then I used my hand blender and just blended it up in a tall container so it wouldn't splash around everywhere. And then just put it in there. So that is going to be my strawberry flavor for the ice cream. Okay, and last but not least, I have my espresso flavoring. So I buy this, it's like $7, $8. Nescafe Gold espresso powder. It is a really, really fine powder. So you'll see how it looks here. Okay, it's like a powder. So unlike instant coffee that's sort of more granules, this is more powder. So this is a couple of teaspoons, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon. You know me, I never measure anything. Again, rather than putting this directly into the mixture, I'm just going to put a little splash of boiling water. Okay, not that much. Mix it around. I don't want to dilute it too much. You can see how I'm mixing it around. And I want to make sure, obviously, that this is cold, just like the chocolate, before I put it into the ice cream. So there are my flavorings. Okay, I've got my strawberry flavoring. I have my coffee. I have my boosted up vanilla flavoring. And I have my chocolate flavoring all ready to go into my ice cream. Okay, so let me show you what it kind of looks like here. So it's still sort of thick. Oops, it's dripping all over the place. Clean that up later. Maybe I want to give it a couple more seconds here. Doesn't quite have peaks yet. Okay, so now it's kind of holding together a little bit better, and I'm going to add, actually I'm going to add this while it's mixing. So one of the things about when you're adding this liquid, it's basically liquid sugar with a little bit of milk in it, that's what helps keep ice cream soft when it's in the freezer. So if you cut back too much on the sugar, you'll end up with kind of rock hard ice cream. And that happened a little bit with the chocolate one that I made yesterday. So I took it out of the freezer to let it kind of warm up a little bit so I can kind of show you. Okay. There we go. I also want to point out this lovely loaf of sourdough bread that I made today. Well, started it like a couple days ago, but baked it off today. I do have a recipe for sourdough bread. You just have to look for it in the Substack. Okay, I'm turning this up a little bit more. Okay, I'm just going to use my spatula and make sure that this is well blended. And notice now it seems runny, and that's okay. It doesn't need to be like whipped cream. It's not going to be like whipped cream because I added a bunch of sweetened condensed milk to it. So let me just give it one more little whip here. Okay, so this is the base ice cream. Then you can flavor it with whatever you want. Now I'm making I actually made 4 different flavors, but I'm making 2 different flavors for you. I'll show you the other flavors as well. So I'm going to take out another bowl to mix stuff in. So I have some coffee here. It's actually espresso powder that I just diluted with some boiling water. So some of my ice cream is going to be coffee flavored. So just scoop it out. Oops, see that consistency? So it's like the consistency of really maybe under whipped cream, but it's still pretty thick. And now I'm going to add the coffee. and folding it. The other thing I'm adding to this, because I like it, some of you of a certain age will remember Macintosh toffee. One of my favorite flavors of ice cream that I get at my local shop, Ed's, is called coffee toffee, and it's like coffee ice cream mixed with all of these little bits of toffee. So I already smashed this. So all I did is I smashed it like this on the counter quite a bit so that it would crumble. And now I've got like bits and pieces of toffee, and I'm just gonna throw all of that in here. Some of it's a little bit larger than I want, but that's okay. Fold all of that in. Take one of my handy dandy containers, and in it goes. Okay, so that's ice cream number 1 done. Put the lid on, into the freezer. Now for ice cream number 2, I have some strawberry puree, and I also have some chopped strawberries. I actually used frozen strawberries, thawed them out, because I just didn't have any fresh strawberries, and I wanted the strawberry flavor to really kind of get into the ice cream. So here I go again. Put another few cups. I think one of these containers holds about 2 cups, just shy of 2 cups. So there we go. So in goes my strawberry puree. I'll put a little bit at a time. I don't want to put too much in. So you can see now, just kind of mixing it through. I think that's strawberry enough. You can make it swirly, or you can mix it all the way through. It's entirely up to you. And then these are the chopped strawberries, so I'm putting those in as well, so that I have a few little chunky bits in there. There's my strawberry ice cream. And that's going in here. And there we go, strawberry ice cream. So these take about 6 hours to freeze up. I'm just going to show you kind of what they look like, and show you one other thing that you can do with them. So the other day I made a little ice cream sandwich. That's why I've got these cookies out here. You can use any kind of cookie you wanted. Homemade cookies obviously are better. I didn't have any homemade cookies, so I bought some ginger snaps. And this is my vanilla ice cream that I made yesterday. And I've got my little scoop. And so you can see here I can scoop it. So it scoops quite well. There I've got my little scoop. Put it on the cookie. Put the other cookie on top and squish it down like that. I kind of want to even it out a little bit because it kind of oozed out the sides. Wrap it in wax paper, and into the freezer it goes. Here's one I made earlier. I love the magic of the video. It's starting to melt because I just took it out of the freezer. Okay, so the reason that you want to do it ahead of time is because when you do this, the cookie starts to soak up some of the moisture that's in the ice cream, which is what we want. And so that makes it soft enough that you can actually bite into the cookie, which I'm not going to do right now, but I just wanted to show you that's how it works. All right, so that's the vanilla ice cream. And this is my chocolate ice cream that I made yesterday as well. And it's kind of softened up because I took it out a couple minutes ago. So see, you can just kind of like literally scoop it right out. If it's too firm, just take it out of the freezer a few minutes before you're ready to serve it. And it'll scoop up nice and chocolatey. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this short little video on making ice cream, and that you are staying cool in this atrocious heat that we're having here, at least here in Southern Ontario.